Hey, how's it going? My name is Lawrence Washington, also known as Mr. Optimistic, and I'm here at my house with my family, dedicated during this time of crisis. Yes, this video is specifically for anyone who is struggling during crisis. I want to share with you 3 different principles that I use to help me overcome during crisis. These principles will help anybody who's struggling with any type of crisis, especially today. All right, but first and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Lawrence Washington, also known as Mr. Optimistic. I am a husband to my beautiful wife. We've been married for 11 years, going on 12 years. I am a father as well, a father to 5 girls and 1 boy. Yes, my boy is our youngest. I'm very determined. And also, I want to share with you that I have served the at-risk population of all ages, mainly youth, for about 15 years. I've served the at-risk population in the position of a behavior coach, in the position of a caregiver, of a mentor, a basketball coach, personal trainer, leadership coach, staff developer, and even a staff trainer, a program developer, and a fundraising coach as well. I've spoken in many different classrooms, sharing leadership principles to all students from preschool all the way to high school. And I want you to know that I am so determined and I am so passionate to fulfill what I believe is my purpose. I am so passionate to fulfill the very thing that I believe that I've been created to do. But I'm not satisfied with that. I'm more satisfied when I help others do the same, especially during crisis. I want you to know that crisis actually causes something on the inside of us, which is our creative being, to rise up. It causes something on the inside of us that we don't even know, which is a better part of us, to be revealed. During this time, allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to create. Allow yourself to sit back and listen, to meditate, to relax during this time, in the midst of the storm. Now, let me get straight to it. This video is talking about how to overcome during crisis. If you are a student, you can overcome during this time. Don't let boredom overtake you. You don't have to be overcome by boredom. You can overcome even being bored. You know, being bored is a crisis. You can overcome during this time that we've never seen before, that we've never experienced before personally. But we are experiencing it now. But it's no different from any other crisis. Many of us have gone through a lot of crisis in our lives. And I'm here to share with you 3 principles. Principle number 1 is face it. Yes, face it. It's so important for us during crisis to face our reality. Something happens when we make the decision to face our realities. We see things that we never seen before. We notice things that we never noticed before. We actually create the opportunity to see a different path when we finally decide to face our reality. It's the same as facing your own fears. When you face your own fears, you overcome it. You figure out a way to overcome it. For example, I had a lot of fear of speaking in front of people. I could not talk. I stuttered really bad. But when I found myself facing that fear, I began to write. I began to read more. And I became a poet. And I began to speak in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people throughout the span of 10 years. All because I faced my fear of speaking in front of people. And I want you to do the same thing. So the first principle is face it. face your reality. Second principle is make the choice. Yes, I said make the choice. I specifically put down make the choice, not make a choice, because I want to encourage you. I want to help you. I don't want you to leave this guessing anything. I want you to make the right choice. We can choose to be pessimistic during crisis, or we can choose to be optimistic. And please understand, when I say pessimistic, I'm not talking about negative. No. And when I say optimistic, I'm not talking about just thinking about positive things. No, that's not what I mean when I say optimistic or pessimistic. What I mean when I say pessimistic, I'm simply talking about you can choose to focus on the problem, or optimistic, you can choose to focus on solutions while acknowledging the problem. Optimistic, you can acknowledge the problem and then focus on solutions, or you can focus on the problem and not ever move on to discover solutions. People who discover solutions have created things today that we all need and that we all use today. We call them inventors. That next inventor could be you within your own household, within your own life. You can invent a new opportunity for yourself as a student, as a parent, as a worker, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO. You can invent something totally new. You can ask somebody different that you never asked before. And in making a choice, you have to continue to make the choice every day, every minute. Because the thing is this, when you make the choice to acknowledge problems and focus on solutions today, tomorrow, you might not feel like doing it. That's why you have to continue to make the choice. Because here's what I want you to understand, that there's no crisis, there's no problem, there's no situation in life that can control your ability to make the choice. We all have free will. And there's no situation that can control that. No matter what you think, you can always make the choice. You can choose to be pessimistic, or you can choose to be optimistic. Principle number 3 is to innovate. You see, my friend, when you face your reality, when you make the choice to be optimistic, metaphorically speaking, you have now allowed the door of creativity to now open in your mind. You see, you have now reached a point of being able to innovate, of creating something that was not there. Because this crisis that we're in is something that was not there before. So therefore, we can do the same thing when we face it. When we make the choice to be optimistic, we are now able to innovate, to create. We are now able to allow ideas to come inside our minds that we never thought before. So let's create. Let's innovate. Let's begin to see things that we never seen before in the midst of crisis. Now, here's a story. As I told you before, we have 6 children, 5 girls, 1 boy. And yes, my boy is the youngest. Now, what I did not mention before, we are Flint water crisis survivors. We lived in Flint during the water crisis for 2.5 years. We've experienced this crisis as a family of 8. Now, the Flint water crisis affected our family tremendously. It created a lot of worry. It created some doubt. It created some confusion within our household. It was a crisis. But we had to face our reality. Me and my wife, we had to face our reality. We were homeowners in Flint, so it wasn't so easy for us to just up and move. No, we chose to be grateful for our health and our strength. We chose our faith in God. We chose to believe the words that we've read and studied for so long from the Bible. We had to stand on the word. We had to make that decision to believe every day. Even when we became stressed, even when stress came upon us, we still had to choose to believe. We had to choose legacy. We decided to choose a legacy to leave behind for our children. And our legacy was this. We had a conversation and we said we wanted our children to see us respond to crisis with the right attitude. We wanted our children to see us respond to crisis with faith. We wanted our children to see us respond to crisis with confidence. So therefore, we did not fight each other during crisis. No, we loved on each other even more. And when we decided to face our reality, and when we made the decision to choose faith and not doubt during our time of crisis, we actually were able to create a system that worked for our family. Yes, our system looked just like this. I worked a full-time job. I worked in the ministry because my father is a pastor. I was a minister. I taught Bible study. I continued to do the things that I believe God created me to do. My wife worked a full-time job, and we were so thankful that we were able to take our children to the YMCA right outside of Flint for showers. We had to use water bottles for everything, as far as brushing our teeth, as far as washing dishes, as far as washing our children up. We had to make the adjustments. We became creative during crisis. We went to Granny's house. We went to my mom's house. We went to my mother-in-law's house 3 days out the week for baths and for our children to spend time with their grandparents. And it was a system that we had created for our household during a time of crisis for 2.5 years. So I want you to know, I'm not just trying to give you words. No, I want to give you encouragement. I want to give you insight. I want to give you strength during this time. You will make it. If you are a student, you will make it. Be creative. Accept it. Face your reality. If you don't face and accept your reality, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. But if you face and accept your reality, it's still going to be hard. And it's not going to be easy. But you're going to be even tougher than your crisis. You're going to be even tougher than your situation. You're going to be even more creative during your crisis, during this crisis. So here's my call to action, to repeat after me. Say, I was made to overcome. Say it again. Say, I was made to overcome. Woo! Say it again. Say, I was made to overcome. And I want you to write this down 10 times. Every day, write it down 10 times. And also, because we have our technology, you can take your cell phone and I want you to repeat it inside of your voice memory. And I want you to listen to it every day. Make the choice. Why am I telling you to do this? Because I believe as human beings that we have full responsibility over our lives. You can reprogram yourself with the right information. So please take me up on my challenge. And I want you to be encouraged. Once again, this is Lawrence Washington, also known as Mr. Optimistic. And I'm encouraging you from my home with my family. And I want you to Face it, make the right choice, choose optimism. And I want you to innovate, create, do what you were created to do. No matter what, I want you to fulfill your purpose, because that's what life is all about. Fulfill your purpose. All right? Be encouraged. Peace.